I'd like to actually start with one of the quotes from the book is that the lion's story will never be known as long as the hunter is the one to tell it. And I had never heard that proverb before. Being a mixed race woman growing up in the Midwest, like it immediately resonated. I'm curious, as you dove into writing the book, The Souls of Queer Folk, like how did that notion and that sort of proverb as a seed inform your work?
I realized that for most of my journey as a queer man, who I was being told to me, voiced by people who had no connection to the community, who were not part of the community, and had no familiarity with my life. Also being African American, having indigenous roots, same type of thing. It became really frustrating for me because oftentimes when I would talk about and think about, well, what does it mean to be gay? So as I was coming out, as I was coming into creation, as they say, and I was thinking, well, what is it that makes me a part of this community? Which then leads to the question, well, what is the community? What does it stand for? The answers were very, very disappointing. So they oftentimes relied on stereotypical notions, superficial ideas, prejudicial rhetoric that's been recycled over and over again. And not surprisingly, sometimes also recycled by people within the community, because that's how oppression works. We start to internalize the narrative that other people share with us. The reason why I began my research is because I wanted to answer that question in a more robust, thoughtful, detailed way. I said to myself, there has to be, I know it in my bones, I feel it in my soul, that being a member of the LGBTQ plus community has more to do than just same-sex attraction, bending the binary, flipping traditional norms on their head. There's something more there. And what is it? And oftentimes when it comes to marginalized communities, people are very comfortable doing kind of a superficial analysis and saying, well, oh, this is just what it is. For example, people would say, well, being gay means that you have sex with someone of the same sex. And I said, well, that's an expression of the culture. That is a manifestation of it, but that's not the core value. Then I had to get nerdy because when you think about cultural values, you have to, if you're going to do a really good job with any ethnographic study, there are the things that we call the artifacts, the things that you can see just from the surface. So for example, let's say you're seeing someone walking down the street, what you see them wearing is on the outside, and that gives you maybe a glimpse or an inkling of what they're about, but it doesn't tell you everything. Then there are the espoused values, the things that people say by virtue of living in this country, that there are things that are expressed that are not followed through on, right? We're not living those values. So for example, we talk about freedom, and I don't see a whole lot of freedom happening right now. So then there are the basic values, the core values, the things that form the essence of what the culture is. And those are the things I really wanted to explore. And not surprisingly, there was very little research on these values, or if they were discussed, it was tangential to some other studies.